War is loud. Artillery booming, machine guns rattling like angry typewriters, soldiers shouting over the chaos. But sometimes, the deadliest man on the battlefield makes almost no noise at all. No heroic charge, no dramatic music, just a quiet breath, a steady finger, and then one soldier drops, and everyone else suddenly realizes someone out there is hunting them. Today, we're looking at some of the deadliest snipers in military history, and honestly, some of these guys were terrifying. Number 4. Carlos Hathcock, the man with the white feather. Let's start in Vietnam. The jungle is loud. Cicadas screaming in the trees, leaves dripping with thick humidity. American Marines push slowly through the brush, sweat in their eyes, mud on their boots, because the jungle hides everything, and sometimes it hides Carlos Hathcock. Hathcock was a U.S. Marine sniper and one of the most respected marksmen ever deployed, but he had a strange habit. He wore a white feather in his hat, which is a bold move because snipers normally try to blend in. They wear camouflage, mud, leaves, basically anything that makes them look like a bush. Hathcock apparently thought, yeah, but what if the bush had a feather? Still worked though, because he was that good. One of his most famous kills involved another sniper. The enemy sniper had spotted him first. Both men were staring through their scopes, watching each other, waiting for someone to blink. Hathcock fired first, and the bullet went straight through the enemy's scope. Yes, through the scope, down the tiny metal tube and into the sniper behind it, which means the other sniper had about half a second to think, oh, that's unfortunate. Hathcock also once crawled over 1,500 yards through enemy territory. That's nearly a mile. He moved inch by inch through grass, snakes nearby, ants crawling everywhere, mosquitoes probably writing his obituary, and he did it over 3 days. 3 days of crawling. Honestly, most people can't sit through a meeting that long, but Hathcock stayed perfectly still, finally reached his target, took the shot, mission complete, then crawled all the way back. Which means somewhere in Vietnam, there was probably a very confused snake thinking, why is this human moving so slowly? Number 3. Vasily Zaitsev, the ghost of Stalingrad. Now we move to Russia, the Battle of Stalingrad, a city turned to rubble, buildings shattered, factories burning, smoke hanging thick in the freezing air. German soldiers move through broken streets, boots crunching shattered glass. They keep looking up, checking rooftops, windows, collapsed walls, because somewhere in this destroyed city, a Soviet sniper is watching. His name was Vasily Zaitsev. Before the war, Zaitsev hunted wolves in the Ural Mountains, cold forests, long hunts, patient stalking, which, as it turns out, is basically sniper school. Stalingrad became a sniper's playground. Ruined buildings made perfect hiding spots. Every street was a potential ambush. Zaitsev quickly became famous. German soldiers began whispering about a sniper haunting the city, and at one point, the Germans reportedly sent their best sniper to eliminate him, a man known as Major Koenig. Now imagine that situation. 2 elite snipers, both hiding in the same ruined city, both hunting each other, neither wanting to move first. It basically became the world's quietest duel. Zaitsev eventually spotted a tiny reflection from Koenig's scope, one small glint of sunlight. That was enough. He waited. Hours passed, cold wind blowing through broken walls. Finally, the enemy sniper moved slightly. Zaitsev fired. Duel over. Which proves something important. In sniper battles, patience beats ego every time. Number 2. Simo Häyhä, the White Death. Now let's go north, very north. Finland, winter of 1939. Snow covers everything. The forest looks peaceful, quiet, almost beautiful. until the shooting starts. Soviet soldiers march through deep snow. Their boots crunch loudly. Their breath fogs in the freezing air. Then, one soldier collapses. Panic spreads instantly. The soldiers fire wildly into the forest. Bullets rip through trees. Snow explodes into the air. But they hit nothing because the sniper is already gone, hidden in the white landscape. His name was Simo Haiha, but the Soviet soldiers gave him a nickname, the White Death, which sounds dramatic, but honestly, pretty accurate. Haiha blended perfectly with the snow. He wore white camouflage, buried himself in snowbanks, and waited silently for hours. He didn't even use a scope, just iron sights. Why? Because scopes can reflect sunlight, and sunlight basically screams, "Hello, sniper here," so he skipped it. He even packed snow into his mouth so his breath wouldn't create vapor. Imagine being that dedicated. Meanwhile, Soviet soldiers are freezing, and this guy is literally eating snow for tactical reasons. By the end of the Winter War, Haiha had over 500 confirmed kills, which is still one of the highest sniper totals ever recorded, all from one quiet Finnish farmer. Which makes you wonder, how many soldiers walked into that forest thinking, "This seems peaceful," and then immediately regretted it?
Number 1. Chris Kyle, the Devil of Ramadi. Finally, we move to modern warfare. Iraq. Early 2000s, hot desert wind, dust swirling through narrow streets. American convoys move carefully through cities. Every rooftop feels dangerous, every window suspicious, because insurgents could attack any time. But sometimes, those insurgents never got the chance, because Chris Kyle was already watching. Chris Kyle was a Navy SEAL sniper and one of the most lethal snipers in modern warfare. Enemies called him the Devil of Ramadi, which is definitely not a nickname you want. Kyle spent countless hours on rooftops, watching streets, scanning distant alleys, looking for threats. And when those threats appeared, one bullet ended the problem. Kyle was known for making extremely long shots. At one point, he made a confirmed kill from over 2,000 yards away. That's more than a mile. At that distance, wind matters, temperature matters, gravity matters, even the Earth's rotation matters. Basically, physics itself tries to ruin your shot. Kyle calculated everything, adjusted his aim, pulled the trigger, and hit the target, which is the sniper equivalent of throwing a paper airplane across a football stadium and landing it in someone's pocket. Across frozen forests, destroyed cities, dense jungles, and scorching deserts, these snipers changed history quietly. They didn't charge into battle. They didn't shout heroic speeches. They waited, watched, breathed slowly. Because sniping is simple. One rifle, one target, one moment. And sometimes, one bullet can change an entire battlefield, which is why the most dangerous soldier in war is usually the one you never see.